right, here we are, next episode in the Plymouth series. We've got a Cars and Coffee coming right up. We're kind of last minute here. We've got one night to work on this thing to see if we can get it prepared and ready for Cars and Coffee Saturday morning. We've got a few things to do, nothing major, but we don't have a lot of time to do it, so let's see if we can get this thing ready in time. Where does this thing sit right now? Well, we got it back from the carburetor shop. Runs a lot better. Throttle linkage is correct. TD cable's now adjusted. Put a new PCV in it. Connected some vacuum lines. So this thing is pretty well dialed on the carburetor side. Electric choke is still not hooked up. Vacuum advance doesn't work. But we're pretty close on that. I'm gonna have to tinker with a couple things still. But we got a new ground. As you guys will remember, the old ground on this thing was smoked. So we're gonna swap that ground out real quick. We've got crankcase vent. As you guys remember, the old one was too loose. The grommet didn't work in there and everything just kind of rattled around. So we're gonna swap that out. We've got a driveline vibration, so I wanna take a look at the U-joints, make sure those are good. TD cable is now adjusted correctly, so transmission shifting a lot better. Still not perfect though, I think it's low on fluid. So we're gonna look at that. We're gonna check the rear end oil. So we gotta just basically comb through this thing, make sure she's safe for the Cars and Coffee, because it's about probably 25-minute drive one way. So we wanna make sure that we at least have a 50% chance of making it. Hopefully this thing fits. It's 1.25 inches. I loosely measured what came out of it. We'll see. It's a K&N, which is more expensive than what I wanted to put into this car. As you guys will remember, we are doing an extreme budget build right now because this is not the final motor that's gonna be in it. She does not fit. You might just have to RTV that in place because we don't have time. We're out of time. Let's do that. Oh, we got her fired up. Dead battery again. So let's add a couple quarts of trans fluid, and then I want to jack the rear end up, check the universals and rear end oil. Well, I absolutely could not get this plug out. It is like welded in there. I cannot get an angle with a wrench, with a breaker bar on it. I've been fighting with it for 15 minutes here. Cannot get that baby loose. So we're gonna say rear end oil looks great. All right, checking universals here. Oh boy. Yep, they're toast. That's what that driveline vibration is. Dang it. That's good. These universals don't seem bad. I don't know if it is the wrong universal, so he had to have the caps out like that, and that's why there was play in it, because it definitely had significant play. But it wasn't this direction, it was this direction between the caps. So, I don't know. Let's put her back up there and see what we see. We might be able to put some grease in this thing and make it happen. I think my grease gun is on her last leg. We're only getting throw at the very end. Yeah, she might be toast. We're just gonna manually pack grease into these things, I guess. My grease gun has failed us. It's missing the retainer clips that hold these guys like in on the inside here. The only thing I can think is that these caps just work their way out a little bit. And so then the U-joint had play either direction. I mean, feels pretty tight to me. Let's get a 3/8 and tighten this baby back up. We got our U-joint back assembled back here. There's a little bit of side-to-side play in that. Just where that cap sits. But not much. Gonna want to put a U-joint in that just because I think those little retaining clips will keep that tighter. But to be honest, I'm not too worried about that. Back from my trip to the fuel station. The driveline vibration's gone. That's great news. That tail shaft play must be at least relatively normal. And we got the U-joint a lot tighter in the back with those caps. We'll have to replace that eventually. I don't love driving it without the retainer clips in there, but it is what it is. Discovered a new issue. We are overcharging, so cook the battery. Got to be an alternator. So we're gonna pull the alternator, gonna pull the battery. I actually fixed that marker light that was out. Got that fixed. So all the lights are good to go. This K&N, that RTV sealed in place, so we're good to go with that guy. Yeah, so let's pull the battery, pull the alternator, pick those up tomorrow. I'll swap those out after work tomorrow, and we should be, fingers crossed, should be good to go for Cars and Coffee in the morning. This valve cover is still leaking pretty heavy on this side, which is disappointing. Brand new gasket. We'll have to pull this thing and RTV it, I guess, but probably not tonight. I think we're gonna just, maybe we'll get to it tomorrow, but I think mainly we got to get this thing charging correctly. So let's jump on that. I'm not gonna film it because it's getting late here, so I'm gonna pull these guys, swap those out tomorrow. It is Friday afternoon, and we got what we needed to get done just in time. We've only got a few minutes to spare before our Friday plans here. I hit the valve cover on the passenger side with a heavy dose of room temperature vulcanization cream. So that thing should be sealed up, I hope. New alternator is in place. We replaced the battery with a Napa Pro Former. Clean the blue off of the white letters on the Cooper Cabras. I think we're about ready to go, man. We'll see you guys in about 16 hours. Well, I forgot to clean my windshield, so I can't see nothing, but we're about to put this whole satellite on the interstate for the first time in 31 years. I was 2 last time this thing's on the road. This old 318 runs really good. Knock on my roof. Stop so Cassie gets Starbucks. Man, this thing runs sweet. Runs really good. Oil pressure, once it gets fully warmed up, is a little lower than I'd like it to be, but that's okay. Fuel gauge stopped working when I filled it. It must be a hole in the float, because it was working when it wasn't full, but now that it's full, she went back down to empty. Charging issue is fixed. Stayed right in the center of the whole trip. I couldn't see crap out my window because I forgot to clean it. But so far so good. We are stopped at this Starbucks. She's getting their coffee, and then the event is right across the street. So we made it. All right, let's do this. literally, as you see it, is pretty much, we did carburetor, alternator, battery, radiator hoses.
Barn find, huh?
Yeah, it's been sitting since 93.
Mine was a field find.
Check this Camaro out. 25th anniversary. Absolutely showroom. Unbelievable. I mean, look at the master cylinder cap. This old Toyota pickup, absolutely mint. Old Thunderbird. The old Resto Mod Chevy. Way cool. Look at the patina on that Chevy. Very cool. Cassie's impressed. It's got a 426 Hemi, some nitrous. Malibu. Look at this Impala. The original 396 in it. Very cool.
That face each other.
It probably does, yeah. No. Well, they might be folded down. It's in the cam in that old Ford. Oh, completely mint Ford Lightning. Way cool. 24 grand. Jeez, I grew up in the wrong time period. That is very cool. Supercharged Malibu, old drag car back in the day. Way cool. This old Chevelle. That looks like it might be the original turbojet in it.
That looks like a prompt. Doesn't look real.
As far as those old trucks go, I think the Fords might be my favorite. Man, is that beautiful. Pretty cool old Porsche. I actually like that generation of them. I don't know anything about Porsches. This old Firebird here. My favorite generation of Firebird. I don't know what generation it is. Sue me. This is the Mopar Garage. I don't know Chevys. But very cool. I would say second gen probably is what this is. Well, it would be a second gen Camaro. So maybe the first generation Firebird. I don't know. Way cool. I love the way that Chevrolet or GM used to do their gauge clusters back then. License plate on this Viper is fantastic. Mistress. Well, that was a lot of fun. We made it, and we saw some really cool rigs, and some people thought the old Satellite was cool, which is cool. And now we'll see if we get home. It's been great so far. I just jinxed it by saying that, but it has been awesome so far. This old 318 runs sweet. Transmission, man, big time knock on my roof. Transmission seems to be shifting good. That That's my biggest worry on this car, because that fluid doesn't smell great, but so far so good. And we'll update when you get back to the house, hopefully. Or we'll update when we're waiting for a tow truck. Well, that went off without a hitch. This thing ran so darn good the whole time. Man, that's pretty cool. So, successful first outing. We put probably 30 miles or so on it. And so far, so good. We'll keep tinkering on it and getting it closer and closer to what we want it to be. Next video, I think we're gonna do something about this paint, patina look. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you on the next one. Appreciate you watching.